Hello guys, welcome to this channel. Today we're gonna discuss about basic terminologies of SQL. First, data. Data is a piece or collection of values used to describe real world object through the features of real world object. Here in the figure as shown in the figure, 30K Redmi 6GB 128GB, these are all called piece of value, or combinedly we call it as collection of values. These are used to describe the real world object through features of real world object. Okay, let us, you can take any examples: mobile, bike, pen, laptop, anything that is which are real world object. Let us move on to the next topic. Data is subdivided into two types: information, raw fact. If data is not processed, it is called as raw fact. If data is processed, we called as information. What do you mean by processed? If processed means if the data describes real world object through features of real world object is called processed. If it is not processed, we called raw fact. If it is processed, we called information. Information always contains data, but data is not always a information. Database. It is the place used to store the data in a systematic and organized way. It is also called as collection of data. Database is known as a centralized place because all data is stored in a single place and it can be accessible by all database users. The features of database are CRUD operation. You already know what you mean by CRUD operation. Create or add the data, read or retrieve the data, update or modify the data, delete or remove the data. Examples of database, you can give any examples, any electronic storage devices and application softwares you can give as an example. For example, pen drive, mobile, hard disk, Facebook, Instagram, Amazon, Google Drive, etc. Google Drive is used to store the data. The storage data is stored in a Google database. Here, the systematic and organized way means we are storing the data in a systematic manner and organized way in the form of tables in the database. So, it is very easy to find the data and very easy and quickly we are finding a data. DBMS stands for Database Management System. DBMS is a software which interconnects between a query language and database. DBMS is a software which uses query language. By using query language, database developers query. The developed query is used to interact with the database to retrieve data as a output. The query languages are as follows: Cipher, DMX, Datalog, GraphQL, HTSQL, ISBL, JQL, JSON-IQ, Link, XQuery, SQL are different types of query languages. DBMS is used to maintain and manage the database. The features of DBMS. CRUD operations, as you know, CRUD operation: create or add the data, read or retrieve the data, update or modify the data, delete or remove the data, and it provides authentication to the database users. Here, authentication is authorized for a genuine persons. That means genuine database users. It provides authentication to the database users and it provides security for the data in the database. In DBMS, the data is stored in a file format. The files having a different extensions. We cannot establish a relationship between both the files. That is the major drawback of DBMS software. Here you see in the figure, you see in file 1 and file 2, file 3, file 4, they are of different data, different file extensions. We cannot establish a relationship. That is the main drawback of DBMS software. R-DBMS stands for Relational Database Management System. It is a software which uses only SQL as a query language. By using SQL, database users develop a query. The developed query is used to interact with the database to retrieve the data as a output. Here, this is as same as DBMS. The only difference is we can establish a relationship by applying key fields to the common columns of data tables. It is used to maintain and managing the database. The features of R-DBMS is same as that of DBMS. As I shown in the figure, each data table has a common column. Here the token number is a common column which is present in both the table 1 and table 2. That is how we are going to establish a relationship by applying key fields, that is called primary key and foreign key. Let us know the difference between DBMS and R-DBMS. In DBMS, the data is stored in file format. In R-DBMS, the data is stored in a table format. The relationship cannot be established between the data in DBMS. Relationship can be established between the data in R-DBMS. It uses any query languages. BDMS, it uses only SQL query language. Normalization cannot be applied here. Normalization can be applied in R-DBMS. It is used in smaller organization. It is used in large organization in R-DBMS. Here you seen in the table can also be called as entity or object, and columns and rows, they are of different names. Columns can be called as fields or attributes. Rows can be called as rows, records and tuples. Table, it is a combination of rows and columns. Cell is the place used to store the data. Thank you for watching.